welcome back to my channel. My name is Penda, and if you are tuned in today, we're just chatting. We're in a pandemic across the world, and I feel like it has affected so many different people in different ways. I have officially been social distancing or in quarantine for the past month. It's officially been 30 days. My last day physically going into work, I believe, was either Monday or Tuesday, March 9th or March 10th. So it's been 30 days since then, and I feel like I've learned so much about myself, and I'm sure that you guys have also learned a lot about yourselves. If you live in New York City and you've been social distancing for this long, or if you are just someone where social distancing maybe isn't a thing that's being enforced by your city, but you are realizing how you react when it comes to things like this. You've never experienced a pandemic, so you're just learning about yourself in general. I just want to share some of those things, and it's a moment for me to be vulnerable. It's a moment for me to share like some hard truths that I had to recognize and understand, but it's also a moment for me to just be open and honest with you guys and just talk to y'all, because I'm pretty sure you guys are in the same position I'm in. So if you're interested, make sure you go ahead and keep on watching. Give this video a big thumbs up and leave a comment down below and let me know if there's anything that you've learned about yourself during this time. I would love to go ahead and have a conversation with you guys in chat. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So this video for me is a little more chill, so I'm like, slouching a little bit. I'm just relaxing. So the first thing that I learned about myself, and I think this was the hardest thing to accept, is that the problem is me. And when I say that, I want to give you guys some context. So before we went into quarantine, I was in a position where I was going into the office with the client that I work with four or five times a week. So I was going into the office a lot, way more than I expected. When I first quit my job, I expected to only have to go into the office like 2 or 3 times a week, but in order for me to negotiate my rate and to negotiate my pay, in order to be able to sustain my lifestyle living in New York City, I had to increase and take on more responsibility in the beginning. So I was going in 4 or 5 times a day. As I was going in that often, I kept thinking to myself, dang, like I'm not creating the amount of content that I want to create. I have too many responsibilities, too many things that I need to do. I really wish I could completely work from home so that I don't have to worry about physically like traveling anywhere, right? So all I wanted for so long was to just be able to work at home on my own time and just keep it pushing. And so when this came about, I was already doing that in the sense that I was limiting the amount of days I was going into the office, and I had basically spoken to the lead and told them, hey, like I can't come in 5 times a week. We're gonna have to make some changes, and we created a plan, right? So this happened literally as the plan was in motion. So when this happened, the first thing I thought, and this was at the very beginning when things were not super serious, was like, finally I can work from home. I'm gonna be busting out content. My website is gonna be done. I'm gonna add like 5 or 6 more clients. I'm gonna be so productive. I'm gonna be going to the gym and eating right. Like there was so many things I was just like, yo, working from home is gonna be the answer. Well, it wasn't. It wasn't. And what I've learned is that the problem has never been time for me. I feel like if I were to manage my time properly, I would be able to do so many of the things that I have in my heart to do. The problem is just that I'm lazy sometimes, I procrastinate, and I don't have the discipline at times. And I'm being very careful in that I'm not saying that I am these words. So I don't want to say I am lazy, I am a procrastinator, I have no discipline. I want to be careful and say at times I am lazy, sometimes I can procrastinate, and sometimes I don't have discipline, because you become the things that you say you are. So I don't want to become those things. Those are things that I experience and that I deal with, but I am not those things. So in me learning that, I feel like I'm pushing myself more now. I mean, I'm filming right now. I have had a very productive day. But that was one of the hardest things for me to realize, is that, hey, here's your perfect situation. You've been begging to work from home so you can do all of these things. And I was working from home, and for the first month, I feel like I didn't do anything. If anything, I got less productive than when I was physically going into the office. So that was like one of the hardest things for me to learn, is that I self-sabotage and I am my only problem. And that just sucks to have to admit. The second thing that I learned about myself is that prayer is better than panic. And for those of you that don't know, I am Muslim, and I have been Muslim my whole life, but I haven't always prayed. I haven't always, sought God out when it came to the decisions that I made, or I would pray and ask God, for guidance on what I should do. But it's just like, it would be every once in a while. It wasn't something that I did on a daily basis. And through this time, it has really brought me closer to my religion. It's really brought me closer to God in the sense that we don't have the answers. You know, like, I'm pretty sure so many of us had plans for things we wanted to do in March and April. So many plans we have for the year. So many people we wanted to see. So many places we wanted to go. And within the blink of an eye, it's just like we realize, well, I realized I'm not really in control of life. I'm not really in control of my life. There's only one person that is in control. And I have to just be able to have faith and trust that the plan they have for me is going to be the plan that is the best. And so in moments where I started to panic about what's going to happen, am I going to have an income? Am I going to be cut? Am I going to, you know, just all of these things that I would think about. Am I going to get it? Or, you know, is there anyone I love going to suffer from this? I've had to pause, I've had to stop, and I've had to just pray and allow my faith to carry me through everything that's happening instead of panicking. So I never realized how much peace you could get from just prayer, how much peace you can get from faith. And I'm not perfect, you know, I am still learning, I'm still in the beginning, but I have learned about myself that prayer calms me down, and that when I trust God and when I put my faith in God and I believe and truly believe, you know, in God and know that He has control, I have less anxiety. And so that's been something that's been really eye-opening for me, and I'm pushing myself to, you know, pray 5 times a day in order to make it a habit, so that when this is all over, God willing, I am someone that prays, and I'm not just someone that is praying because of what's going on, you know. So that's definitely a huge thing that has changed about me. The next thing I've learned is that I have a short attention span. I get bored so fast. Like, I could be doing one thing and then just 5 seconds, hold on, y'all, lighting. Alright, if you notice the lighting change, I adjusted the settings really quickly because I feel like I was looking a little orange with the light that was on. But what I was saying is that I have a short attention span, so I will just be doing one thing and then 15 seconds later, like, I'm on to the next. So I really do not pay attention to things, and I've had to, like, force myself to focus on a task for a longer period of time. But I definitely recognize that I have a short attention span. Even, like, I'll watch a YouTube video and I'll watch it for like 2 or 3 minutes and then I exit out. I personally like different types of content, but I've learned more and more and more that the type of content I like is like chit chat videos or videos where people are talking or sharing their personality. It's just more entertaining for me, and it gives me something to listen to as I do other things. But I've definitely learned that I don't have the attention span, so it's something that I need to work on. This next one is something that was hard to admit, and something that I'm actively working on. So when I was working more than one job and trying to, you know, create content, I wouldn't really talk to my family and friends that much, and my excuse was always, I'm busy, I don't have time. And what I've learned is that how do I say this? Like, I'm a family person, I'm a friend person, like, I love my friends, I love my family, but I think that sometimes it's easier for me not to talk to people than it is for me to talk to me. And it's something I'm trying to unpack, is just like, why am I okay with going so long without talking to people that I love and care about? And I don't know the reason why. Like, I don't know why I can go a week and not talk to my sister or not talk to my best friends. You know, it's not like, and it'll be days where it's like, I'll think about them, of course, but I just don't feel the urge to, like, pick up a phone and call or text them. And that has changed a lot during these last 30 days because I've been talking to my mom almost every day, if not every other day, which is definitely something I wasn't doing before, if I'm being fully honest. I'm talking to my sister more often. My other 2 sisters, I'm not talking to them as much, which is something I need to work on. But one of my sisters, I talk to her almost every other day. My best friends, I've gone like a week and a half without talking to them. So I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is, but I've learned that I don't necessarily reach out to people as much as I would like, and that's definitely something I want to change, because 1, life is short, and 2, I want the people who I love to know that I love them. I don't want them to have to question it or to have to think about it. So it's something I gotta work on. I'm not proud of it. I'm actually really embarrassed to be saying this, and I feel mad vulnerable on the spot. I don't want anybody commenting anything negative, but I'm just being honest in that I wish I was a little more family and friend oriented, or that I let them know and I show them how much I actually love and care about them, so that it wouldn't be something that they have to think about. Um, The next thing I learned is something I already knew, but that this situation kind of exacerbated, and that is that I really do have anxiety and I get paranoid about things. So like, for example, I've been going grocery shopping, but when I go grocery shopping, I try to go really early, but like, I'm like so jumpy in the stores. Like if anyone comes near me, I'm like jumping back. I'm like stressing out about things. When I touch something, I'm just like, how many people touch this? And it's not healthy. And it's really in those moments that I have to come home and really pray and just like give it to God and really just like let it go. But I've learned that I get anxious about so much and I'm so paranoid about everything. And it's just like the problem with being paranoid, not even with this situation, but just in general, is that you stop yourself from living life because you're thinking about so many negative what ifs. You know, I stopped myself from so many different fun things that I could have done because I was scared or I was nervous about what could potentially happen. And that's no way to live life. Like it's not a way to live life. So it's something that I need to work on. And this situation has just taught me how much I need to work on it. Like I went grocery shopping, y'all. I spent like 4 or 5 hours washing every single thing that I picked up with soap and water, washing my hands at least 60 or 70 times like that day, like no joke. I went through a whole roll of bouncy paper towel, like a large size, because I just kept wiping things down. And it's just like, there's a difference between safety and like just ridiculousness. So I feel like I was borderline being ridiculous. It made me feel safer, you know, but it was just like, it was a whole experience. It was a big thing, okay? It was a big thing. The next thing I learned about myself is that I over plan. And this is something that a friend actually kind of just like told me, is that I give myself too many things to do. So let's say, for example, and this is what connects to the first one I said, which is that the problem is me. I feel like one of the ways in which I set myself up for failure sometimes is that I will give myself 30 to 40 things that I need to get done, that I get overwhelmed, and then nothing gets done. So let's say I have a to-do list right now that's like on the side of my wall, and my to-do list for one day has at least 10 to 12 things. And so I feel like what happens subconsciously is that I see how many things I have to do. I recognize that there's not enough time, and then I just won't do a lot of it. Like I'll just randomly do some, and then I'll beat myself up about the fact that I didn't get much done. But it's just like I set myself up for failure in the first place. So something that I want to do within the next upcoming days is to make plans, but to be realistic, to give myself like 1 to 3 major things to do each day versus having 10 to 12 things that I need to do. So my first step for me that I'm going to practice is I'm going to have like a Google sheet, and I'm going to put every single thing that I need to get done in life, with work, with my brands, everything that I want to get done. And then I'm going to prioritize what's the highest priority, what's the least priority. And then from there, just give myself small tasks to do, stretched out over time, so that I can still work towards the things I want to work towards, but I could do it in a way where it's more feasible, more manageable for me, and I don't feel super overwhelmed and just like feel like I can't do anything at all. And I feel like one thing I'm noticing is that a lot of these are things that I learned about myself that are kind of like negative, but to me, I look at it more as like learning opportunities for me. So of course there's things that I learned about myself that are good, but I feel like I really want to share the things that are harder for me to talk about, because I know that there might be someone that is realizing the same thing about themselves, or someone that might be avoiding really taking the time to reflect on who they are as a person, and really avoiding taking the time to learn themselves, because it's scary to kind of admit the things about yourself that aren't the best, but I feel like that's the only way you're gonna grow. The next thing I've learned about myself is something that's a little more random, and it's that I love background noise. Like, I have to have something on, like whether I'm about to eat, whether I'm about to clean, whether I'm about to like do work, I always like to have background noise on. When I shower, when I do everything, I like background noise. I don't know what it is, and I feel like part of me needs to even think more about that. Like, is it that I'm afraid to just be alone with my thoughts? Who knows? But something I definitely picked up on is that whenever I'm doing anything, I love to have like sound in the background. I don't like cooking, and I realized that for me, I just like quick, like just like whip it up and go. But like the intricate cooking where you're adding like rosemary and all of these other like garnishings and making things look pretty, I don't really care for it. Like, it's not something that I have like a passion in. So I don't like cooking that much, and I really recognize that because my roommate loves cooking. Like, she will look up a recipe, buy the ingredients, make it, and for me, I'm just like, whatever I think should go in it is just what's gonna go in it. I just make the concoction and go, and then I get tight when it doesn't taste that good, but I don't want to spend the time that I should on actually like trying to learn how to make certain things. So that's just definitely something I learned that's like really random, is that I'm not a fan of just like being in the kitchen and like making intricate meals. I don't like being alone, and I feel like I'm in a big family, so I have 3 sisters. I've always shared a room with my sisters until I moved out, and I've never really had to force myself to be alone. And I feel like there'll be moments where it's just like I'll be in my room chilling, but then like after a while I need to go and like see what my roommate is doing. So I don't like being alone for too long. So people who are living by themselves right now during this time, I don't know how you're doing it. I don't think I could, but that's just also something that kind of like I want to think about more. It's just like, do I have an issue with being alone? Is it like, what is it that I don't like about being alone? Because for so long I've said that I'm an introvert, so I like really just being to myself, which is true. Like, I can be in my room for hours at a time, or just be by myself for hours at a time and be okay. But at a certain point, I seek like human interaction. So I just realized that I don't like being by myself at all, especially not for long periods of time. And then the last thing that I wrote before filming the video is that lack of structure is not good for me. So not having to stick to a specific schedule is actually horrible for me, because I would just be all over the place. So I learned that in order for me to be most productive, for example, what I did today, I need to set alarms to wake up, actually wake up at that time. And the first thing that I need to do is to shower in order to get my day started. Because if I do anything else, if I eat first, if I get on my phone first, if I try to just like lay down with my eyes open and relax first, I will literally not get done half the things that I need to get done. So in order for me to be productive, I have to be more disciplined. I have to give myself structure and just set things in place. Of course, within that, I've learned I can't give myself too many things to do and like plan hour by hour, but definitely having like a general map of what I need to do within a day that is short, that is feasible, that can be done is really helpful for me. After listening to those things, I feel like I said a lot of things that I've learned about myself that aren't necessarily the best things. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned about myself is that I am a work in progress, and I'm okay with that. Like, the journey is something that I need to go through. I feel as though for so long I kind of like made it as though I needed to have everything perfect at all times, or like if I had a goal, like I had to shoot for the stars immediately. And what I learned is that there's beauty in the process, there's beauty in the struggle, there's beauty in the journey. And I'm okay with just taking my time and going through that, and like taking baby steps towards the things that I want to do. And that definitely was not the case in the past. In the past, I feel like I've always wanted to rush to get certain things. And so I've learned that there's beauty. There's beauty in the struggle, there's beauty in the journey, there's beauty in being patient and just taking your time. So I'm excited about what's to come for me. I feel like even this video that I'm creating is something completely different. You know, I've shared things about myself before, but I feel like I'm really letting you guys into who I am, the good and the bad. And I feel like that's so important, because social media is easy to portray this idea of like perfection and just like, you know, portray that you are exactly where you want to be in life. And it's just like, I have so many other things that I want to do, so many goals that I have yet to hit. And I feel like just taking my time and taking it day by day, recognizing what in myself I don't like and working towards that, are all going to help me to be the person I want to leave this earth having been. So I really urge any of you guys, if you have extra time, if you are at home, if you are practicing social distancing, which I hope you guys are all doing, that you are really getting to know yourself. Like, just try to see who you are, try to see what you can learn that you never knew before, because we are in a very unique situation where we have more isolation. Like, we're not amongst other people, and I feel like a good coping mechanism for people who don't really want to recognize the ugly truths about themselves is to always surround themselves with other people, or to always give themselves things to do. So if you have the ability to just pause and just think and just reflect, take that time, because you could get out of this situation, out of quarantining, a much better person than how you entered it, which I think is a goal that I have. It doesn't have to be a goal you have, but it's definitely a goal I have. I hope that you guys enjoyed this more chit-chatty, talky, vulnerable video. I just wanted to let you in on my thoughts and like the things that I've been recognizing about myself. I feel like I'm going to keep the list going and really try to add more positives because I've been coming for myself, but I also feel like it's important for me to just be real and honest. Like if I'm not honest with myself, who gonna be honest with me? You know, if you're not honest with yourself, how can anyone be honest with you? So yeah, that's my word for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Comment down below and let me know what is something you have learned about yourself during this time of social distancing, during this time of this huge pandemic that we're all experiencing and going through together. If you or anyone you know has been affected in a negative way, I just want to send you my prayers, send you my thoughts. If there's anything that I can do for you, let me know by commenting down below. I love you guys so much and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.